Hey everyone, Lazy Ben, and welcome to this week's YouTube video for my sci-fi gardening game that I'm developing with my own engine. This week is all about physics. In particular, I want to be able to fly a droid up to a rock, have it blast the rock apart with its laser and the rock to shatter into a million pieces using some crafting. So it's Monday morning, I'm going to get a cup of coffee and begin with step 1, which is collision detection. Okay, so it's a little bit later now and I've got something up on the screen to show you. If you don't know, collision detection is broken into two parts. The first part is the intersection, which is what I've implemented now, and the second part is collision response. It's like, how do you deal with that intersection? So basically this intersection is just two squares, yellow and green, and if the green square moves into the yellow square, we can see it turns red, meaning that the intersection's happened and the engine knows that the two shapes are intersecting. They don't have to be squares, they could be any shape, but I've chosen squares just because it's simpler. So I'm going to get back to work and I'm going to have a look at how I'm going to handle collision response, the second part, and I'll report back when I've made some progress. It's the end of the day now and I've got collision response working, so I just wanted to show you a little demo. We've got the yellow and the green square again, and if we move the green square into the yellow square, we can see that it goes red like before, but the green square stays on the edge of the yellow shape there, of the yellow square. And the green square is actually the collision response. So the red square being collision detection, and then it's being pushed out onto the edge of the yellow square there to make the green square. And that's the response. It just slides up and down, but doesn't actually go into the yellow square. So I'm going to call it a day, and I'm going to go home and get a good night's sleep and come back tomorrow and make some more interesting collision response. It's lunchtime on Tuesday now, and I've had a good morning's work. So you can see here that the big yellow square has been replaced by a long thin rectangle, which kind of simulates where the ground might be in the physics simulation. And if I just run this simulation, you can see that the green squares now react quite realistically with the yellow square. And you can begin to see how this might be lots of little bits of rock that are breaking apart. So I'm going to continue coding for the rest of the afternoon, and I'll report back if anything interesting happens. So it's the end of the day now, and I spent the afternoon setting up this situation where I've drawn a rock here. If you go up to it with the character now, and I press the L key on the keyboard, you can see that the rock now breaks apart. It's beginning to look how I want it to look. And I think I'm going to go home now, and then tomorrow I'm going to see if I can get it working with Sven, the mining droid. And in particular, I want it not to be bound to just pressing the L key. I want to be able to, the droid to be able to detect that there's a rock there and then explode the rock. Friday morning now, and the plan for the day is to finish this system off. I want to get Sven the mining droid to be able to go up to these rocks, break them apart, and then have the little parts of the rocks give Sven iron ore. So I'll report back at the end of the day and we'll see if we finish this system off. Okay, so it's the end of the day on Friday now and I'm pretty tired, but I'm really pleased because I've managed to get this system completed. So if we take over Sven, you can see that it has this tech bar down here, and this is the technology that it has equipped. And in particular, it's the really good rock breaker. So if I press that, you can see that he gets this circular reticle around him, and he can use this to detect the rocks. So if we fly him up to rocks, you can see he detects it. And then while he's detecting a rock, I can press the E key and he'll strike the rock, and the rock will lose some HP. And if the HP gets to 0, it breaks apart. And then the rock pieces fly into him and he gets iron ore. It's a really quite a cool, fun effect, because if I break the rocks apart, you can see that the particles will chase Sven around until eventually he gets them and he gets the iron ore. And the reason that I wanted iron ore in the game is because it's going to be used as a common resource for crafting. So if I go over to the crafted bench here, which I demonstrated in last week's video, we can open it and we can see there's a cannonball blueprint. And in particular, cannonball blueprints use this iron ore that I collected from the rock. So if we add that to the queue now, and we can press craft, and I can get a cannonball into my inventory. So that's everything for this week's devlog. This week was all about physics, and we managed to get the rock particles colliding with the ground and then travelling up to Sven as iron ore. Could use that in the crafting system, so I think it was really good progress. Thanks very much for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.